be talking about American cats, the good, the bad, and the cuddly. Let's start with the cuddly and your love for cats.
I just love cats. I think that they're beautiful and they're smart and they're loving and they're very often the underdog in that people don't understand them, so they think that that they're beyond. They're not like dogs, and they aren't like dogs. But just because they're not like dogs doesn't mean that they're not extraordinary animals.
A little background about you. You first learned about cats being declawed from what exotic kitties, which I was really surprised.
Yes, as a veterinarian, I was taking care of many big cats, and they had been formerly in the movie industry, or someone tried to make them into a pet. And one of the ways that they would do that would be to amputate their toe bones so they no longer had claws. But this led to them being crippled. And as a veterinarian, I thought I had to do something about it. And that's what got me, it changed my life because it became a crusade to protect them from such a horrible thing that their doctors were doing to them.
And now, what, 20 years later, you're being loved and hated by many and admired
Well,
for some of us.
well, 20 years, it's actually now even more than 20 years, I hate to say, but 20 years plus later, people were beginning to say, oh, we really shouldn't be so cruel to cats and we really shouldn't do something, because scratching furniture, scratching posts, or whatever they're scratching, it's a normal behavior. And it's on us, those people who live with cats, to make sure that they have something good to scratch on so they don't scratch the furniture or you. And that's a normal behavior. And we can't amputate their toe bones so that they don't do it. That's cruel.
It's a procedure I didn't realize that it's a total of 18 amputation when you fully declaw a cat.
It's a minimum of 18 because they have 5 toes in the front and four, and then 5 toes on each paw in the front and four on each in the back. But some cats are polydactyl, where they have many more toes, and then it's many more amputations. It's can you imagine though that how much pain that is to have your bones amputated? And what's so crazy about it is that according to the literature, 30% of veterinarians don't even provide any pain medication.
That's insane. And in the documentary coverage, it covers how like one vet says like that you don't think they feel the pain.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's truly a lack of empathy to think that cats don't feel pain when you amputate their toe bones. I mean, it's not some fancy manicure. It is an amputation of this last knuckle in every one of their toes. So you got to believe that's very painful. In fact, it's so painful, it's used in clinical trials to test new pain medications. It's that predictably painful. And yet many vets don't even offer pain medication.
In the documentary, I see that it's also a business. They do it to gain revenue for their pocket at the service of someone else's pain, because an animal is not, like I said, it's many say it's a property, but it's a family member, it's our child.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is that if veterinarians were to call declawing deknuckling, then people would say, I'm not going to have you deknuckle my cat. But the way veterinarians talk about it, when they want to promote declawing, they talk about it, oh, we take very little bone, or they make it sound like it's not a very aggressive surgery, but it is. And that's the whole point, is to get people to realize that this surgery should be called deknuckling and that you really don't want to do it to your cat.
And the saddest part is that the American Veterinarian Medical Association supports the vets providing the service.
Yeah, and so they choose to support veterinarians who want to declaw over veterinarians who don't want to declaw. And it's a shame because clearly the veterinarians who are ethical and concerned about their patient well-being don't want to declaw, and yet the Veterinary Trade Association, the AVMA, chooses to support those who just want to make money from doing something that's so egregious.
How did you feel to see Peter Weinstein being interviewed and kind of being put in the hot seat?
Well, I was glad that he was interviewed because I wanted people to see what his side of it was so that they could make their own choices. But I think he made made it clear that his side is not uh, thinking about the cats; they're thinking about the money.
And that is very sad.
It's very sad. And you think about it and you think that veterinarians who don't declaw, who willingly decide they're not going to do it, then they end up making more money because people want to find a vet who's more interested in animals being happy and healthy than making money.
Definitely. But I also learned that there you can salvage paws.
Well, so it's a salvage surgery, and we do the best we can, but it's the same with any amputation. It is that tissue is gone, that bone is gone, and now we have to make the best of what's left to make sure that they're comfortable and that they can walk and that they'll use the litter box and they don't start biting. It's hard though. It's hard to do, and it takes so many more hours to try and salvage their paws than the few minutes it takes to declaw their paws.
It makes me wonder. I once had a cat that was declawed. My neighbor was fostering her. I was alone in a new state of Montana, alone, and she gave me who was Miss Priss. And she was already declawed, but she was young. She was very young. And she was wild, and now a little bit makes sense. And it took a long time for her to adapt to me, and now it all makes sense. Maybe she was in pain. I don't know.
Well, when you think about it, when they declaw a cat when it's very young, then you know that they're just declawing the cat because there's no behavior that these cats are too young to have been offered training and all the other things that are humane. So when they're very young, they're just throwing it on. They're supersizing a spay by saying, "Hey, you want to declaw with that?" And so these cats learn to adapt to the fact that they don't have claws anymore, but they're still going to be in pain when they get older, and they're going to have arthritis. It's going to be harder for them to use a litter box. They're going to be more cranky. They might bite. So there's no good way to declaw a cat, and there's no good reason to declaw a cat. And I guess you probably realize that with Miss Priss that she didn't deserve that.
No, but you know what? She gave me 19 beautiful years. So yeah. At the end, she softened up. She knew it wasn't going to hurt her. So we flew back to California and lived our happily ever after life.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
But yeah, that's something that I learned and I didn't realize. And people need to take in consideration that doing something like that as they're trying to protect and make them furniture friendly, I guess you can say, couch friendly, that there are sidebacks in their personality and you were not really going to like.
No, and the thing is that it doesn't behoove anybody because if you declaw them to protect your couch, you have to realize that there's a good chance that they're not going to like using the litter box because it hurts to dig in the sand. So then they're going to pee on the couch. And so that you did not protect your furniture. I guarantee you the better choice would be to trim the nails, provide adequate scratching posts. People don't understand that a scratching post has to be where you are because it's the cat marking territory to say, this is my human. So it has to be in the center of the living room. It can't be in the garage behind the dryer. It has to be where you are. And it has to be sturdy and it has to be what the cat likes to scratch. And then the cat will use it.
Oh yeah, I see it. My couch is definitely feeling it, but it's one of those things. You kind of do the balance. For me, I love coming home to 3 kids. And
yeah,
the couch is the minimal of my worry.
Right, exactly. And it should be because these are sentient, loving beings. They don't deserve their toes amputated because of your furniture.
And tell me about you founding the Paw Project. I already signed up to volunteer when it's needed, so I'll be waiting for a notice anytime.
Okay. Well, we do have legislation in California that would require some, if you feel like it, writing your senator an email, even your state senator saying, please support the legislation. It's AB 867. it's to ban declawing in the state of California. So we do have that happening, and we have legislation in other states as well. But um, the reason that I founded the Paw Project is because I felt like there are so many veterinarians who don't want to declaw, but never had a chance to realize that there's an organized group of people who don't want to. So instead of feeling alone and feeling bullied that you have to declaw, I wanted people to know that there is an organization you can be part of. We have all the data, we have all the reasons, easily digestible why declawing should never happen. And now we have, thousands of people signed up to the website, and hundreds of veterinarians on our side who've signed up.
I'm hoping other vets watch this documentary because it can be an eye opener for them too. There's a vet, right? That young vet that shares her experience, of having declawed and wanted to stop it, but yet she had no choice. And
Yeah, exactly. She was bullied into it, and it took a toll on her mental health. And when she realized that she just can't do it anymore, it's against every fiber of her body, she called me, and the Paw Project supplied her with all the supplies, everything to how to talk people out of it, all the data, all the humane alternatives, and also testimony from veterinarians who gave it up. And they always say, we make more money now that we gave it up, because people are looking for a vet who is humane.
And so you're always doing something and, trying to continue your fight. What are you in the middle of? Where are you at?
Well, so we're in the middle of launching this documentary, because I'm really hoping that when legislators and their constituents, which means everybody, when they see that this is they admit it, it's for money, and it's an egregious act that veterinarians are breaking their promise to animals by doing. Legislators have to step in, because veterinarians have failed to police themselves. So this is what I'm hoping, is that people will watch the documentary, they'll feel compelled to contact their legislators in their state and say, this has to get banned, and that the legislators don't fall victim to the lies that the VMA, the Veterinary Medical Associations, the trade organizations come up with of why declawing is necessary. Like they say, oh, what if someone has paper thin skin, or there's a baby in the house, or there's someone on blunt thinners. These are all lies. The rest of the world lives with cats with claws, and they have babies and people with thin skin and people on blood thinners, and they're not dying because of it. In fact, we know that cats who are declawed bite more, so it jeopardizes human health. And these are the things that legislators feel like they have to somehow allow, because they've been convinced by the veterinary medical associations that this is why you have to declaw, but you don't. And that's what I'm hoping the film teaches them, so that legislation will be easy.
One thing that I do want to ask, how can we get these stickers to put out there and encourage people?
Go on the Paw Project website and contact us. So pawproject.org, and contact us, and then just put in a request for stickers and what they're for. Like if you say, I need 20 stickers because I'm going to my class reunion or whatever it's going to be, and I want to educate people, then we can send them to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and put in my request, because I'm gonna put them all over the valley over here, because we need.
Okay, that's excellent. That's excellent.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're not only you participate in this documentary, but you're also a co-producer. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am, but mostly it's the cats. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the film that we crowdsourced the film so that people could donate to make their cats Nepo babies in Hollywood. And so all the cats are like PURRducers and cinematographers. So that we did that because if the AVMA sues us, then they're going to be suing a bunch of cats, and that will be hilarious and a PR nightmare for them. So it's made by cats for cats.
Like cats for cats. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. And I like you, like animals more than people. I have it at
I
my
get it.
desk.
I get it. I get it. Well, it was very nice meeting you. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions, and please take the time to make sure that your senator, your California State Senator, will support.
Definitely will do. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for
Bye.
your time. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.